Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Evan O'Neill,
I'm TJ Wasiuk.
and this is another episode of Two Guys Small Talk. We're on episode number what, TJ?
Episode 3, Syria Rapid Fire.
Now, before you tune out, we're not just talking about Syria. We're going to talk about some other things, but we got to get it off of our chest. It's on the tip of everybody's tongues.
Exactly. I don't know if you guys have noticed, it's been in the news for the past few days, or at least since this weekend. It's now April 11th, 2017.
I hope you've noticed.
Yeah, I hope you noticed. But we dropped some cruise missiles on Syria airbase.
Pew pew! 59 is what I'm seeing. 59 cruise missiles.
Yeah, so basically this was a retaliation from the United States after we found out Syria was responsible for the killing of 89 people. Is that right?
Well, that could be right. Let's start off and dive into a crazy theory that I saw last week. So, what we've been reported and told is that Assad, the president of the Syrian government, used bombs. He dropped bombs on a rebel staging area in Syria. And some of these bombs hit a storage facility that had chemical weapons in it. So, here's where we get into a theory. Supposedly, sarin gas, the chemical that was released on the people of Syria, supposedly, sarin gas has a very short shelf life. Like, you don't just make a bomb and then not use it. So, the theory is that some of the bombs were dropped and they fell on the storage facility and, they exploded with the other weapons and caused the gas to be released. And with this theory, these crazy people are wondering, how did this happen? How do we know about this? How do we have all the footage already? This seemingly nice-looking footage featuring everybody's favorite heroes currently, the White Helmets. They're a group over in Syria that kind of saves victims of these bombings and stuff. But that's just a theory. That's just a theory that maybe is fabricated. Go ahead, TJ. Continue on.
Well, then also, Russia tried to cover it up with, I guess, what they're saying, quote-unquote, false narratives to confuse the, the international community.
Yeah. They wanted to upset Trump and see if he would bite. Because in 2013, and Obama didn't bite.
Yes, and so now, in retaliation, Russia has sent over 2 extra Corvette battleships near Syria where there was Arctics. And I believe they also added an oil tanker, and for whatever reason, a tugboat is what they called it.
Now, this first report that I saw a couple of days ago about them sending out a ship, apparently it was on a routine route anyway, but it's been a couple of days, so if they're still hanging out in that one spot, doing some sort of man, I'd be shitting my pants if I was on one of those boats.
And not only that, there's China, North Korea, and the United States now too.
Supposedly, we sent a boat towards North Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of, I believe I saw it was a carrier, so an aircraft carrier capable of launching strike attacks. So what else do we know about Syria right now? We know that we attacked a military installation. We attacked an air base that had aircraft and supposedly other munitions, and but we gave Russia the heads up before we did it, and Russia's in bed with Syria, so they gave the Syrian government a heads up, and I haven't seen anything about confirmed casualties at all. I mean, I saw some hearsay that maybe there was like four people.
Yeah, I mean, we did drop 59 cruise missiles, so who's to say? Well, that's a lot.
well, those things are really expensive, so they definitely hit their targets, or should have hit their targets, because they would have been targeted. Just lob that bad boy over like a nasty water balloon. So tell us what you think about this whole Syria situation. Should we get involved? Should we step back? Is it easy to have a one-off situation where we only attack them once? Should we have attacked at all? How do you feel about Obama not attacking back in 2013 whenever Assad legitimately, without a shadow of a doubt, bombed his people? Now, another theory that I saw about this was this kind of keeps the whole perpetuation that Trump is in bed with the Russians, because by doing this, that means Russia's going to cut off contact with us for a little while, and in a year or so, supposedly, we'll lift some sanctions on Russia, so that way we can be, at least cool with them again. Maybe not cool, but we don't step on each other's turf. And then we'll praise Donald Trump for that, and that's supposedly a thing.
How he'll get his second nomination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to stiff arm somebody every once in a while. I don't know if we should have stiff armed these guys, but whatever.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what's going to happen from here on out. It's pretty crazy what's going on.
Yeah.
It just seems like Russia is playing like a huge factor in, all these countries, more so than, they have it in the past. It almost reminds you of,
hey man, Russia,
we're going back into another Cold War or something.
No, I don't think we ever left the Cold War, honestly. I feel like the Cold War cooled off, and it might be getting a little warmer right now, but I don't think the Cold War ever stopped. I think they're the Americans over there. They kind of tell people what to do.
Still, yeah. But anyhow, what do you guys think about the matter? Give us your opinions below if you think, are we going to continue?
Are we going to continue efforts in the area of operations?
Thank you.
known as Syria? I hope
So
not. I've got friends over there. I've got friends who have been there, or on the border or something.
Really now? Didn't you say that?
Yeah. Big shout out to my buddy Jason Longquist, keeping those 16s, and I think they were 16s. He was over there as an aircraft maintainer, working E&E, I think, at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, but he spent a good chunk of time over there a couple of years ago. He was actually the guy who first told me that we've dropped more bombs in that area than any other war combined.
What? Say that again, sorry?
We have dropped more bombs in that area than any other war combined. Now,
that's insane.
A good amount of them are airstrikes. A good large amount of them are drone strikes.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Moving on from Syria, we're going into our next segment, which is Rapid Fire.
Rapid Fire.
In this segment, I pulled some topics that were discussed in the group and also on Facebook in general. The first on the list, which was in the news, was United Airlines. So this was a huge debacle.
Yeah, huge. If you didn't know, United Airlines is in some big trouble right now. They overbooked a flight. By overbooking, they were getting some pilots and some air staff, so like stewardesses and stewards. They were getting them on the airplane, and so they randomly selected 4 passengers to boot off of the plane. And one man said, "No, I'm not doing it. I'm not giving up my seat. I paid for this."
And he was a doctor, and he said he gave it to his patients, which is honestly understandable. However, the way they went about getting him off the plane was dragging him out of his seat. He banged his head on the armrest,
and blood, guts, and ass everywhere.
And then just pulled him out, but pretty much by the top of his body. And then, get this, he goes back into the airplane, trying to get back to his seat. And they had to get him out for a second time, which was
they took everybody off the plane at that point, and I think I saw it took somewhere about 2.5 hours. Delayed the flight. I guess they tried to give the guy some credits. Like, hey, here's $800, but the next flight wasn't until the same time the next day.
And he probably had something to do, that day.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't give up mine. It's fair. I give you money. You give me a service.
Exactly. Right. Another company that was in news that was causing uproar was Pepsi. They had a commercial that went out about, I guess, how everyone's doing the rallies, the LGBT community, the...
Yeah, they were pretty all-inclusive in the video. They tried not to discriminate against anyone that's young and a hipster. So, and then... Yeah, go ahead.
It looked like a Gap commercial almost.
Yeah.
You know, with all these different diverse.
Yeah, no, it
cultures.
truly did. Like, everybody was looking trendy and fresh as fuck. So I got to give them that. So I mean, whoever did design for that, good job. The rest of the team, you fucked it up. Okay, but anyways, I don't think that's going to be too hot of an issue for too long because it only seemingly lasted for a couple of days. But it's on the internet. It's on the internet. It's going to be there forever.
Another topic was the White House press secretary, Sean Spicer.
Yeah, man. Just a few minutes ago, before we started recording this, he apologized for what he said. But what he said was that Hitler didn't even use chemical weapons on. I think the term was people, but a lot of what I'm seeing is didn't gas his own people. And I think about it, and I'm like, I mean, is that technically true? Is it morally incorrect, but technically true?
How that he really did use chemicals on his own people?
No, yeah, I mean, they weren't his people.
Per se, but...
You know, they weren't of the Brotherhood.
Of the Aryan race, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he retracted his statement, saying, what was it? Frankly... I misspoke, basically.
Yeah. He said, I screwed up. So we'll see what happens. I mean, that guy, he's the face of the Trump administration. He's going to take a lot of flack anyway.
Another topic we had on the two guys was the Hyperloop One. If you don't know what that is, basically it is a new idea that I believe that SpaceX, Elon Musk is developing, if I'm not mistaken, but you could travel from train, they're saying 30 minutes, 300 miles, so Houston to Dallas, Los Angeles to San Francisco, which is
amazing.
Pretty badass.
Yeah.
That would cut down so much air traffic, I believe, too, just by going in that. However,
yeah, those popular routes.
Who's to say how quickly they could add passengers in and whatnot?
Yeah, very true. That would be a system that would have to develop over time.
Yeah. Another one that was in the news, whatnot, was the Metallica's bassist son was playing on stage. What do you think about that, Alex or Evan?
Oh my God, that's wild. That is wild, in my opinion. That is so. It's interesting. I'll give it that.
So these next few ones, we are just going to say quick few words on it. First one is, boys have a penis and girls have a...
vagina!
Hey, John Cena or Rick Astley?
Man.
For a meme.
Neither, honestly. Fuck.
Or never gonna give you up. Szechuan sauce.
Man, I'm a Rick and Morty fan, but... I kind of saw that meme coming, and I knew it was going to be just explosive.
Oh, yeah. Netflix thumbs up rating.
Man, what the fuck is with that? Okay? I used to rate movies 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, okay?
Yes.
And then it bases its selections off of that. This thumbs up or thumbs down crap and this 98% match on some bullshit I don't want to watch.
Dude.
You're fucking up, Netflix. I'm unsubscribing.
Another topic that was real quick was the Kechin police LGBT issue, where the Kechins are killing off, the gay community because it's not right, it's not moral, it's against their beliefs.
Well, they're a Muslim community.
Mm. And to end on a better note, The Undertaker, he retired recently.
Man, I watched WrestleMania. I could not watch it whenever it first aired because my power went out, but I watched it the very next day. I didn't even use the phone for 5.5 hours, however long that event was. And it was beautiful. It wasn't his best match, but it was his last match.
Amen to that, brother. All right, well, I just want to thank you guys for listening to another Two Guys Small Talk episode. This has been TJ Wasiuk.
And I'm Evan O'Neill.
Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Later.